How the Chicago Bears are supplementing the pass rush. The Bears have an elite secondary in the making. What's up, guys? Swift here, covering everything Chicago Bears. Today I want to talk a bit about our secondary and how they can supplement our pass rush and lead to more coverage sacks. It's not only the secondary, but that is my focus today. Another way to make your defensive ends better, though, is by generating pressure up the middle with your three techs. This is an underrated point as well. Defensive ends in this scheme at times are not asked to generate the pressure. A lot of times the defensive ends in this system play contain, then the pressure comes from up the middle, causing the quarterback to run into the defensive ends. It's a waterfall effect that Flus likes by getting pressure right in the quarterback's face. But on top of that, another way to get sacks in the NFL is by locking down the receivers and tight ends. These are called coverage sacks. These have been rare in Chicago because our secondary has been bad since Vic Fangio left. 2021 was the worst season in recent history as far as our secondary was concerned. They were just awful. Blown coverages were a regular thing. Ryan Poles inherited that awful secondary and immediately started upgrading it. In the last year, he's brought in Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Elijah Hicks, Kendall Williamson, Dejon Warren, Jalen Jones, Michael Ojemudia, and more. This is a completely revamped secondary. The only holdovers are Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson. The talent and potential in this secondary is actually awesome. Cornerback in particular is, in my opinion, the deepest position on this entire roster. The secondary overall is so talented. There's actually a chance that our Eddie Jackson replacement is already on the team as well. Terrell Smith could potentially play free safety. Elijah Hicks' development has potential as well. You need more than just good secondary players to get coverage sacks, though, as we saw a lot last year. Even when our corners and safeties were in good position, our linebackers were abused over the middle of the field. The biggest problem with Roquan Smith and Nicholas Morrow last year was their coverage skills were just awful. That should no longer be an issue this year. Ryan Poles added two of the best coverage linebackers in the entire NFL. This will be an extension of our secondary. When you have defensive backs this talented, paired with linebackers who can cover, that is how you get coverage sacks. Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus's vision for this back seven has gotten me extremely excited. Yes, there's still a major hole at defensive end on the roster, but take that Madden general manager out of your mind for a second and just look at the back seven of this defense. Forget the defensive line for a minute. Just look at the back seven. At linebacker, you have Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, and Jack Sanborn. At cornerback, you have Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, and more. And then our safeties are Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker. There's also depth at each position. Noah Sewell, Jalen Jones, Nugget Warren, Michael Ojemudia, Elijah Hicks, Kendall Williamson, and more. I don't say this out of hype or fandom. This secondary has a Legion of Boom style of upside. It's not just the talent. It's also the type of players he's bringing in too. These guys are long, physical, athletic, and play with some violence to their game. This is the kind of secondary that if you get by the front seven, they can come up and make you pay. I was already really excited about our secondary this season before the draft. I think the additions of Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards alone should give us a top 15 passing defense this season. Add in Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Kendall Williamson, and Nugget Warren, and pair that with Eddie Jackson's healthy return and potential improvements in year two from Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Jones, and others, and I think fans are seriously underrating how good our secondary could be this year. We haven't even seen an average secondary over the last few years. If we can improve as much as I think they should this season, then this unit has the makings of a top 10 pass defense with the upside to be a top 3 secondary in the entire NFL. In today's NFL, where the passing game has become more and more popular, I love this approach. Let me take it outside the box for a minute to talk to Bears fans. How many times have we had elite defensive lines over the years? Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman, and how many times did we watch that awesome defensive line get completely neutralized by Rodgers and other quarterbacks just releasing quick passes over the middle of the field because our linebackers have not been able to cover since Brian Urlacher retired? Teams were able to neutralize our awesome pass rushers by throwing quick passes and slants. We never had linebackers or a secondary that could take that away, and teams would just pick us apart. It hurt Khalil Mack's production and wore him out. Most of us fans are used to building this team through the trenches, and Poles is not ignoring the trenches. He invested heavily there. 3 of his first 4 picks went to the trenches with Darnell Wright, Jervin Dexter, and Zach Pickens. Defensive end and center are the only 2 positions that I think still need help, but I expect both of those to be addressed next offseason. I love the method of this team building. He's not ignoring the trenches, but he's building one of the best pass defenses in the entire NFL that can also stop the run. We've tried having the awesome defensive line with the bad secondary how many times, and it just didn't work at all. So why not give Ryan Poles' method a chance? I love what I'm seeing when I look at this team. Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards' coverage abilities are the most underrated aspect to this entire offseason. Most fans are stuck on getting both of those linebackers for about the same price as Roquan, but that's not the important part. Roquan's short arms and stiff hips caused him to be a liability in pass coverage. He was beat by running backs out of the flat, receivers over the middle constantly, and even tight ends. Edmonds and Edwards are different players. They both have the sideline-to-sideline speed and play the run well, but they are elite in pass coverage. Having these linebackers who can cover will definitely help take our passing defense to the next level. This will lead to coverage sacks. If our new defensive tackles can collapse the pocket and generate pressure up the middle, our defense will be good this year. You heard me right. I expect our secondary to be top half of the NFL. The biggest question mark is the defensive line. We have some potential there. The defensive tackle rotation looks a lot better than last year. Justin Jones returns and has a big run stuffer, Andrew Billings, with him on the inside. And then we added 3 young athletic tackles to really improve this unit. Jervin Dexter Sr. brings the power and athleticism and upside. Zach Pickens brings the hustle and pass rushing acumen. And then Travis Bell is a scrappy, late round flyer with a non-stop motor. These guys will rotate in and out of the game, and I'm really excited about the potential of this group. I think Dexter and Pickens will need a year or 2 until they start to reach their potential, but the upside is insane. The defensive ends are our worst position group on the roster, but the cupboard is not completely bare. Dominique Robinson is a guy I like a lot. DeMarcus Walker is a solid starter at left end. Rasheem Green and Trevis Gibson both have potential. Let's not act like we have nobody at defensive end, but I also expect another move at this position. But the point is, the back 7 of this defense will make the defensive line better. I was a huge fan of both Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon last year. I was very surprised by undrafted free agent addition Jalen Jones as well, and I think Nugget Warren has the same kind of potential this year. On top of that, both Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith bring more athleticism, coverage skills, and even more of a physical presence to this back 7. This is going to be a team that is physical and punishes their opponents. This is being severely overlooked by most analysts and fans. Our team is bringing back the toughness of that 1980s squad. I couldn't be more excited about how this rebuild is going. To the newer fans of my channel, I'm not always an optimist. I'm just overwhelmed by Ryan Poles and the way this new front office has handled the rebuild. For the first time in my lifetime, I love what the Bears front office is doing. Don't let the old regimes of the past sour you on our new guys. Change is always hard, It started when Poles got rid of veterans like Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith, but I believe he's doing it the right way, and things are turning around in Chicago. A new era of Bears football is coming. It's not all about one season anymore, it's about the future and getting better and better every single year. I expect to see a much more dynamic, physical, and fun football team this year. I think we will win a lot more games, but it's not all about wins and losses. It's about continuing to build this thing for sustained success. Continue adding to that foundation they established last year until the Bears are one of the best teams in the league year in and year out. I'm all in on Ryan Poles. This draft was huge for him, and I think he hit a home run and greatly improved the talent and depth of this football team. I can't wait to see this team in action. Rookie minicamps start up Friday. We will get to see the rookies soon. Watch out for that, guys. I have so much more coming on this rookie class. Thanks to everyone who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. And until next time, bear down.
What's up, Bears fans? It's Tyree Stevenson here. Excited, ready to get to work. Bear down.
What's up, Swift? It's Kyler Gordon. Just want to do a quick shout out to Swift Sports Network with all the latest news on the Bears. Keep doing your thing. Just hope you have a good day, man. And I just want to say bear down.
Swifty in the house!